Welcome to the third season of the Nidd's Whitelist server. I also wonder if Sal's going to watch this back afterwards, and if in a couple of weeks I'll get a message from her answering that question.
She probably will, because I refuse to edit this 24-hour live stream. I wouldn't be able to live through 27 hours of footage of this after I'm already stuck with all the hours of Starbound she's thrown at me. I'm pretty sure she has at least 1.5 days worth of Starbound.
I used to know how this is in Premiere, so it's not. She uses Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
But I used to have a way. There is definitely a way in Audacity. It's pretty easy on Audacity for audio only. But there was a way to. I can't even remember the name of it in Audacity now. But essentially to automatically cut anything under a certain number of decibels. And I worked out a way to do it in Premiere as well. So if it's something like this and all you wanted to do was cut out the bits with no talking, then it would automatically just go through and cut out anything below a certain level.
That wouldn't work for Sal, seeing how her computer's constantly talking to her with the sound of a fan. It's quite noticeable in her recordings.
Do you... Oh, it's OBS, isn't it? So it's it's...
everything or nothing.
All the audio's in one track.
Yeah.
I run it through a noise like Audacity noise removal to get rid of that stuff, but you'd be removing stuff from the game, I guess.
Especially with the game sounds being turned down almost to nothing. They couldn't compete with the fan of the computer. Which is a shame, because I kind of enjoy the new sounds of the game. Somehow.
Yeah, I usually play with them about half and then adjust them in editing later. So that I'm able to hear both.
KP Wayne is apparently taking notes of something, so you should probably be careful with what you're saying. Sal probably has spies everywhere.
So taking notes is in notes to give to Sal later.
I suppose.
That would be bad. Or taking notes because we're saying something that would be useful to him.
I don't think we're really saying anything that's currently useful to him. What did we say just recently? I forgot.
Stuff about editing. So
Yeah.
I'm assuming not.
Well, he lives a few seconds in the past. Maybe... No, he's just writing things down about the audio stuff, so everything's fine. For now. We'll see later when he starts writing down what we say incriminating about Sal.
That's not a particularly good nap, then, is it, Sal?
Yeah. Wow. Thanks. Now she hit all the stuff I said about her computer fan. It is awfully loud, by the way. One would have thought in a stream you could get some privacy.
I have been Yes, I've been like editing and doing, even though I hate it and I don't, well, mostly don't like it. The repetitive stuff I don't like. The creative stuff I quite enjoy. But even though I don't do too much of it, because I've been sort of doing this stuff for 4 or 5 years now, I pick up a lot of information and I feel like I have some sort of a responsibility to do what Sal has done with her OBS tutorial. And I think about maybe I should put some information out there about all the like little things that make it so much easier and quicker, and so that other people can see the things that I do and laugh at it and tell me how to do it better. But then I decide to play Rocket League.
You don't let yourself be influenced by Sal and her ways. Just stick with your life. It's too much of a hassle to create productive things for viewers. Simon, were you there when I was trying to rescue Apple from the planet?
Yes, for the first bit anyway. I think I was ducking in and out and recording a solo episode.
Were you there at the end when I had to go fetch your door because of a Tesco drive or something?
No.
Good. Because, remember how mean Anubis was acting towards you in The Sims? The cruel monster he was.
Yeah.
I have actual proof that the big version of Anubis does the same. You see, when I was flying down there, Anubis was for some odd reason racing me to Apple. Him on the planet, me with my puddle jumper flying down there. And so basically, Anubis got there first, and then they were both sitting there ducks, making out or something, and waiting for me to fly down there, so basically bird watching. And, when I landed finally, the doorbell rang and I had to do something for a bit, which means I couldn't fly the Apple directly up again. I told them that, and I left for a bit. And when I returned, I had to find out that Anubis ditched me with my Apple and it just flew away and left me there all alone.
So he does this all the time?
Yes. So you're right in not talking to him.
I think we should come up with a punishment for him.
I'm terrible at coming up with punishments. But I'm open to suggestions.
So am I, but I feel like Apple might be good. I don't know why, but I feel like he would be. But I also don't want to set any precedents. Because then I feel like I would be... It would... I can't. I'm too tired. What do you call it? The thing. I think I might just sleep here on my desk.
Sure. Go ahead.
No, okay. So, if we punish Anubis, then the next time that we do something bad, he will say, but then I was punished, so you should be punished for this as well. I feel like that would not be good for the rest of us, because Anubis is a pedant, and he would not only remember every single thing that we do to him, he would be noting it down and working out ways to use it against us. So it makes it difficult to punish him for something that he deserves being punished for.
Well, what could we ever do wrong that Anubis sees so that he could, try to punish us? We're untrainable.
Spell something incorrectly. It's Anubis. He'll
yeah.
pick up on it and then
Touché.
come up with a... And Sal, you shouldn't have told us that you were watching, if you still are, which you shouldn't be. I think that was a bad strategic move, because you could have found out a lot more if you hadn't told us.
Yeah, there could have been so much more knowledge about editing that we would have shared. You're just missing out on all that. It's your fault. Then again, she doesn't really edit. That's what she hired me for.
And by hired, do you mean...
Kidnapped.
Forced to live in a cupboard?
Yeah, that too. Is that horrible? She sometimes gets decent food in. It could be worse.
Oh, that's right. Sal wants us to read the comments out, doesn't she?
Well, KP Wayne was suggesting that Sal was probably looking forward to those editing tips. Does he say editing tips like editing tips with you know, those quotation marks? Does he mean actual editing tips?
Do you want me?
You don't have
sleep?
to. Sorry. Kinda yes, since that's a good thing,
No.
but then I'd be left all alone and nobody would be talking. No.
The strange thing is that I'm not actually that tired, but my brain works worse than normal, as evidenced by that sentence. I think it's because I'm doing maths in my head at the same time. I should probably do one or the other.
What exactly are you doing right now down there? Up there. Space Vegas there.
Hang on. Should have finished counting. And there. Right, I'll repeat it again, because there are new people on stream. So, I'm making a massive hangar, one that's capable of fitting little Tina in it, but not for storing ships, it's for making ships. So, the goal is to have inside all of the tools required to either make a ship from scratch or from a projector, and to be able to get it out of a hangar. And it looks like one of Nordic's hangars, with like an aircraft one with a cylindrical roof.
Mm-hmm.
In order to get it out of there, I want to have two massive doors, essentially the two halves of the roof, break away and open up, so that you can fly your ship up and out. And this has proved to be a lot more challenging than it seems, because I need to have the doors of the roof connected back down to the grid, like the base, in order to pressurize it, because it can't be on a rotor. There are gaps, and you won't be able to pressurize the entire thing. And if they're on rotors, I'll probably log in one day and find it's all exploded and floating away.
Yeah.
Because they're on rotors. So the challenge was finding a way to have a rotor door that also connected back down to the base and essentially acted as like any other roof. It just acted as a roof like normal, didn't move, and was connected down with merge blocks, which isn't possible with the rotor. You can't just have a rotor that then folds down and merges to the floor. You used to be able to, but it would explode immediately. So I'm assuming that's why you can't anymore, because they just, rather than make it possible, they just made it impossible so they wouldn't explode. And so the only way that I've managed to get around it is by essentially making the doors removable. So you have the doors just held down by merge blocks, and you can pop the entire thing off, and then have another arm come in and merge to that half, and then rotate it. In testing, this worked. In the small scale, it worked. Now I'm doing the large scale, which is about 50-something blocks long and about 25 or something across. So they're massive doors, which I'm scared about. Anyway, I'll take a screenshot so people can see what I'm doing.
Well, firstly, I have to read out KP Wayne's comment, who says he's usually the opposite when he doesn't sleep. His body just wants to shut down, but his brain is far too active, and that does sound scary. Are you sure you just want to try that here and not do it like Anubis and test it in a, test world first?
No.
Okay. Also, where are you going to put that hangar?
Well, I tested in survival. I spent the first half of this stream testing. The hangar is halfway between the moon and the Earth. It's going to act as the place where I build ships for both space and down order, and anyone else can use it as well.
Sorry, but KP Wayne just suggested that you read it. I suppose I still need to read it out for everybody who doesn't have the chat up. You've built a large cylindrical hangar with a removable roof, and thus you've essentially reinvented the jar. I think that's the name of your hangar now, though.
Yeah. It's a jar where the sides are removed rather than the lid. But yeah, now it's called the jar, so thank you for that.
Well, it is a nice name, I have to admit.
Yeah. I'm just uploading the screenshot to Steam. It can't take that long to upload 345 kilobytes.
Oh, don't challenge Steam or your internet connection.
Alright, done. Now, link. Just giving a blow-by-blow account of my trials and tribulations to upload an image. It looks very basic, and that's because I am going to run a half-scale test before I do any aesthetic stuff. Where the yellow blocks are where the merge blocks are going to go. I'm going to have a separate arm come in, and once those merge blocks pop off, then another one immediately sweeps in and plucks it out of the air, which I didn't think would work, but apparently it does. As long as everything's positioned right, you can pop one set of merge blocks off and it'll immediately snap to the other one. Essentially, I've created a massive explosion, because that's what's going to happen. I'm going to persevere.
I'm happy to see
it'll
that you
get
trust in
fine.
your engineering skills that much.